On a fast-moving conveyor, even routine motion hides a silent risk. Inside the warehouse, stacked packages move from table to belt in a constant stream. The atmosphere is routine, workers sorting, the hum of motors, the steady clatter of boxes finding their path. A cold draft cuts through the open dock, but the work keeps flowing, all eyes on the moving line. She steps forward to grab a loose item near the moving belt. In a split second, it drifts toward the rollers, the belt's strongest grip point, where motion doubles back with full force. The system pulls the object in instantly, showing how one reach near that zone leaves no time to react. Never, ever reach or lean into a moving conveyor without a secured stop or guard in place, because motion that seems predictable often conceals unseen force. At a busy construction site, one wrong control and the entire lift changes course. The day begins with routine coordination across the site. A tower crane operates above stacked materials while teams align deliveries on the ground. The environment feels steady, mechanical rhythm, clear commands, and predictable motion. Every task depends on precision where timing and communication define safety. As the operator engages the wrong lever, the lift drifts off its intended path. The assembly swings slightly, shifting momentum across the work zone. One misstep in control, and the line between precision and risk becomes clear. Never, ever operate lifting equipment without verifying lever position and load direction. Every motion must start with full awareness of control, layout, and active paths. In a narrow yard, one unseen move turns order into uncertainty. A flatbed truck stands in a narrow yard, its engine idling beside a forklift ready for loading. Workers move in rhythm as a two-wheeler approaches the same path. In that shared zone, visibility narrows fast, where one small gap hides a much larger risk. As the forklift pauses mid-operation, its forks remain raised and unnoticed. A scooter enters the lane, slipping briefly into the forklift's blind zone. The confined space, reflective surfaces, and quiet machinery merge into a moment that exposes how easily sightlines can vanish in shared work areas. Never, ever allow mixed traffic, pedestrian or vehicle, to pass through active loading areas without separation or visual control. Clear barriers, lowered forks, and defined pathways prevent silent hazards from forming. In a quiet packing area, one wrong step brings a powerful fan too close for safety. Inside a storage and processing zone, industrial fans run to keep the air moving over stacks of produce crates. The floor is narrow, with power cables and crates lined up close to rotating ventilation units. Noise and repetition mask the presence of high-speed blades behind partially open guards, creating a false sense of safety around operating equipment. As nearby adjustments are made, communication timing moves out of sync. Airflow pressure increases near the fan's intake, shifting nearby materials unexpectedly. The moment reveals how small coordination slips can raise risk when powered equipment stays unguarded. Never, ever approach or lean near operating fans or ventilation systems without full guards or shutdown controls in place. Rotating blades and suction zones can create invisible hazards long before contact occurs. At a roadside repair bay, pressure builds quietly. Routine meets unseen force. In a small transport yard, two workers prepare a truck tire for inflation. Around them, hoses hum as compressed air flows through the line. The tire rests on bare ground without a cage or restraint. Just another quick job in a familiar setting. The environment feels calm, but every inflation carries potential energy that demands boundaries. As air continues to flow through the line, pressure quietly builds within the tire assembly. Without a restraint cage, the system relies entirely on precision, showing how stable pressure must always stay matched with proper safety barriers. Never, ever inflate a tire outside a secured cage or restraint. Compressed air must be treated as stored energy. It deserves distance, structure, and respect at every stage. As a tower crane climbs higher, the balance between steel, load, and precision begins to test its limits. At a high-rise site, the tower crane undergoes a height extension process. Each new section is guided upward through a jacking frame built for controlled alignment. The climb depends on synchronized hydraulics, locking pins, and balance checks. Each movement must remain perfectly in sequence. During elevation, the climbing frame experiences a brief timing offset between its lifting components. The system compensates instantly, demonstrating how even small synchronization gaps require precise control to maintain balance during height adjustments. Never ever begin a crane height climb without verifying alignment, locking engagement, and hydraulic synchronization. Structural balance depends on timing and precision, not assumption. On a busy press line, one brief delay meets unstoppable motion. Inside a metal stamping workshop, conveyor tables move in precise rhythm under the hum of presses. Operators align parts in sync with automation, every second dictated by timing. The air carries the pulse of machinery, efficient, powerful, and unforgiving to hesitation. As the press line cycles, every motion follows a precise sequence. But when automation advances before the zone is fully cleared, timing collides with logic. The press continues its programmed rhythm, a reminder that machines follow code, not caution, and why safeguards must always define the tempo of production. Never, ever reach into or across an active press line. Machines respond only to signals, not awareness. Without guards, interlocks, or verified cycle isolation, even a moment of inattention can place movement ahead of safety. In a narrow warehouse aisle, one misplaced step turns a routine walk into a hazard. Inside a storage area lined with rows of packed boxes, movement is constant. Inventory coming in, packing, going out. The floor space is tight, with open sections near the loading zone where workers move between shipments. A single open pit, left uncovered after unloading, blends into the dim flooring, nearly invisible in the busy flow. As workers move through the aisle, one approaches the uncovered section without noticing the change in floor level. The open gap, hidden between shadows and cargo rows, exposes a sudden height difference in the walking path. In seconds, the lapse shows why every surface in motion areas must be verified, clear, and covered. Never, ever leave open loading pits or floor gaps unguarded in active work zones. Every uncovered edge, even for a moment, becomes a silent fall hazard. In a food plant of stainless steel and motion, one running blade turns routine into risk. Inside the chilled line, workers in white uniforms move quickly between conveyors and slicers. Every machine hums in sync, keeping production smooth. Yet, near the band saw, its steady rhythm hides a powerful edge that never rests. Without a full stop or lockout, the band saw keeps cycling even as the line pauses. Its steady motion continues unnoticed, revealing how residual energy in unisolated machinery can turn a normal stop into an unexpected hazard zone. Never, ever allow a cutting machine to remain energized when tasks stop. Always apply full isolation and lockout before any pause in work. Machines hold stored energy far longer than attention does. In the dim light of a construction site, one missed signal sets heavy machinery in motion. It's night at a busy earthwork zone. A dump truck reverses toward a loader, headlights cutting through dust and exhaust. Operators rely on routine coordination, each load, each signal, and each step synchronized under low visibility and fatigue. As the loader prepares to release its load, the exchange of movement between both machines adjusts slightly out of rhythm. The truck edges closer than the designated boundary, narrowing the safe gap. Without clear visual confirmation or a spotter to guide, two operating ranges begin to overlap, turning a routine cycle into a near miss under fading visibility. Never, ever enter or remain in the blind zone of active heavy equipment. Machines don't yield to hesitation, only clear communication and separation prevent escalation. Night work narrows reaction time. Always establish spotters, signal systems, and exclusion zones before machinery engages. Every load, every lift, every second, visibility is safety. Don't forget to share what you learned today in the comments. Your insight could save a life. Take care.